I'm Diana Badgett, and I'm a Strategic Customer Success Manager here at Crossbeam. Thanks for joining my session, How to Forecast and Manage Source and Influence Pipeline in Crossbeam. Today, I'll show you how to source and influence more deals using pipeline mapping with opportunity reports in Crossbeam. You'll also learn how Carlos Barrero, Strategic Tech Partner Manager at Klaviyo, is collaborating with partners on deals by giving and getting visibility into opportunity data. Before we get started, I'd like to share one of my favorite partnerships. As a Canadian, I would be remiss if I didn't mention a partnership from north of the border. For me, I would say that Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara are an iconic and hilarious duo. Now let's get started. In this session, you'll learn the definition of pipeline mapping, how to get started with opportunity reports, examples of reports, how to build an opportunity report, and real-world examples from Carlos Barrero at Klaviyo. And remember, all of this assumes you've completed your Crossbeam account setup, like connecting a data source, connecting with at least one partner, creating standard populations, and setting up your data sharing rules. Also, to build opportunity reports in Crossbeam, your partner will need to be sharing data with you. Overlap counts are not enough. Let's begin by defining pipeline mapping. We know account mapping is taking a list of accounts and cross-referencing or mapping it with a partner's list of accounts. Generally, these accounts include leads, prospects, open opportunities, or customers. Pipeline mapping takes the concept of account mapping a step further. Pipeline mapping is taking a list of opportunities and cross-referencing or mapping it with a partner's list of accounts or opportunities. Pipeline mapping leverages opportunity data, not just account data. Our customers use pipeline mapping to see which partners can help them push active deals forward, and vice versa. We have to keep that reciprocity in mind. Pipeline mapping with opportunity reports is a paid feature available beginning at Crossbeam's connector tier. Once you've unlocked opportunity reports, there are a couple of ways to use this feature. One way is to view your partner's opportunity data in a report. To do this, you must ensure your partner has a CRM connected as a data source, and at least one of your partner's populations is sharing opportunity data with you. Another way is to view your own opportunity data in a report. Here again, you have to have your CRM connected as a data source and be syncing opportunity data. Now that we have the basics out of the way, let's hop into Crossbeam and take a look at some opportunity reports. Before you can build a report, one very important point to note is that you need to be sure you are bringing opportunity data into Crossbeam from your CRM. In this example, the data source I am using in Crossbeam is Salesforce. If I choose all fields and then expand my opportunity object or table, I can now see all the fields that I am able to choose to sync. Perhaps I want to bring in fields like campaign ID and forecast category. I would go ahead and choose those fields, save changes, and then the next time the sync occurs, they will be available for me to add to my opportunity reports. Some of the common fields used in pipeline mapping are often amount, sales stage, close date, and days in pipeline, but you can certainly choose any fields that would be beneficial to you. Also, it's important to remember that although you are syncing these fields from your CRM, you are not sharing these fields with your partner. You are using them to simply enrich your reports. Let's see some examples of opportunity reports you can build. Here we have a report that we named Early Stage Opportunities Over $50,000. Here we're looking at our opportunities and understanding which of our partners can help on some stalled or competitive deals by possibly giving us intel about procurement experiences, decision makers, account health, and more. In this report, we are bringing in data from our CRM that is in the opportunity object or table, such as sales stage and amount, that we can then use as a filter to create the list of opportunities we can focus on. You can see that we have used the filters where the amount is greater than $50,000, and we chose our earlier sales stages to get the data we're looking for. Here's an example of another report. This one is called Late Stage ISV Opportunities. This will allow us to see which of our late stage deals can get an extra boost from our partners. Maybe they can put in a good word for us to help us push the deal over the finish line. Here again, we are bringing in the sales stage and amount, but this time we are using the sales stage filter to hone in on those deals that are in a later stage. Now that I've shown you some examples of opportunity reports, let's build one together so we can bring in some of that opportunity data and use filters to narrow down our results. In this example, I am a company called Crowdblossom, and I want to see my closed lost opportunities and compare them to one of my partner's customer lists to see if I can reopen the sales discussion and possibly win back their business. Here I'll go to the reports page and click on Create Report. Now I'll name my report. For my populations, I'm going to choose my open opportunities. And then I'm going to compare it to my partner called Yard. And I'm going to choose their customer population. Now I'll run the report. Now I want to bring some of my opportunity data into my report. I'll click on Configure Columns. And then I'll go to My Opportunity Data. And I'll choose the fields I want to bring in. So I'll choose amount, days in pipeline, and sales stage. And I'll just rearrange to bring that to the top. Now I'll save. Now I can see those three fields that I just brought in. Now in this circumstance, I only want to see my close lost sales stage, so I'll need to use a filter. So I'll click on Filters, then I'll add sales stage is close lost. And now I'll run the report. And now it's narrowed it down to just the 4 opportunities that were close lost. Perhaps we lost this deal with Optimizely because we lacked a key integration with Yard. Now that we're partnered with Yard and have the integration, perhaps we can win that account back. Maybe on my next call with Yard, now that I know they have a relationship with these companies, they may be able to provide information on who at that company they have relationships with, if they're a happy and healthy account, or what their sales cycle was like. If they can provide me with some helpful insights, perhaps I can win these opportunities back. In the spirit of partnerships and reciprocity, you can also create the same reports but in reverse, comparing your customers with their open opportunities so that you can possibly provide intel or warm introductions to help your partners close deals as well. Now that we've built some reports and built one together, let's hear how Carlos Barrero, Strategic Tech Partner Manager at Klaviyo, is managing and building sourced and influence pipeline using opportunity reports.
We had a chat with Carlos Barrero to learn how he uses Crossbeam at Klaviyo. Introduce yourself, Carlos.
Hey everyone, my name is Carlos Barrero, and I'm a Strategic Tech Partner Manager at Klaviyo.
So in the spirit of Crossbeam, we'd like to know, what is your favorite partnership?
My favorite partnership has to be John Bonham and John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin. I'm a musician, and I think they're the best rhythm section in classic rock. So huge fan of what they did.
That's awesome. Can you tell us about your role at Klaviyo?
So at Klaviyo, I work with third-party technology companies that integrate with Klaviyo. I wear several hats, but ultimately I'm focused on helping partners build valuable integrations and grow with Klaviyo.
So what data are you sharing with partners when building opportunity reports?
When we build opportunity reports for partners, some of the columns we share that we find are really helpful in coordinating activities are the sales territory. So for us at Klaviyo, we segment accounts by their gross merchandise value, or GMV, a very common measure for size in the e-commerce industry, and of course, geographical region. Secondly, we'll look at the e-commerce platform that they're using. Klaviyo supports many different integrations with these platforms. So just knowing which is really helpful to think about our positioning. We think about the product and SKU adoption within Klaviyo. Are they using our email marketing channels or SMS marketing channels, or both? And then finally, we're also looking at the account owner, letting our partners know who is the account executive or customer success manager here at Klaviyo that they can communicate with if they are looking for more information or intel.
Gotcha. So what filters do you add to your opportunity reports?
As for filters, we also include the close date. We often just take a a lens that focuses on the current quarter or whatever time horizon makes sense in our relationship with a partner. And then also the sales stage here at Klaviyo. We find that partners can have greater influence earlier in the sales process with Klaviyo. So identifying those where it's relatively early in the discovery and evaluation phase, that's when we can intercept and be most effective.
Great. So how are you managing sourced and influenced pipeline with opportunity reports?
So we use opportunity reports to manage our sourced and influenced pipeline by simplifying the account mapping process and identifying those ideal customer profiles per partner. Not every partner serves the same customer segment. Some may focus more upmarket or downmarket. So having that opportunity report data helps us understand which partners are a good fit for which customers within Klaviyo's customer base. To give you an idea of how we're doing this with partners today, we're currently running an experiment with a few where we ask partners to identify 2 ideal customer profiles within their prospects and our customers. The first one is their easy wins. In other words, what are the slices of the Crossbeam data or anything that's coming from their CRM that identify, hey, this is a slam dunk for that particular partner and where an introduction is most likely to close. And then secondly would be that aspirational ICP or that ideal customer profile where they're trying to get to through some strategic moves, product developments, or rebranding down the line. And we can set alerts for both of those. And that way, we can help each other manage that pipeline for those easy wins and that aspirational segment. Another idea is using Crossbeam's custom populations feature to find mutual agency partners to support go-to-market activities, especially if the integration is perhaps a little bit more technical in nature and needs developer support that agencies and SIs, solution integrators, are better positioned to help with.
How are you driving co-selling activities using opportunity reports?
As our tech partner team was growing this year and we were starting to explore opportunity report data, we are taking an experimental approach with several departments across the company and with partners. So some of these experiments are the following. One is building custom report notifications in shared Slack channels with select elite partners. This has been a really cool, nifty feature where we kind of set it and forget it. And within this Slack channel, it'll automatically tag the account executive or account owner at Klaviyo or at the partner to immediately introduce or prime a conversation between those folks. A second idea is running weekly emails aimed at account executives here internally that focus in our largest regions, EMEA, APAC, and North America, that are focused upmarket and really helping isolate those high value priority accounts for them where we've identified there's an overlap with a partner. That helps, again, prioritize which accounts for them make sense to bring in that partner and helps introduce that partner to a high impact team here at Klaviyo. And a last experiment here is auto-generating target lists for our BDRs, our business development reps, where perhaps they're trying to re-engage a cold lead or cold prospect that's already been in our CRM. In other words, focusing in on prospects of ours that are already a customer of a partner that maybe has launched a new integration or has updated an integration. We use a few tools to do that and automate that internally, specifically Crossbeam's integration with Snowflake, our internal data warehouse, and Coefficient, a tool that queries Snowflake and drops all that stuff automatically into a Google Sheet. So a lot of efficiencies gained there by using opportunity reports.
That's great. Anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you to Crossbeam for having me at Connector Summit. Humbled to be among the partnership pundits today. If you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, please do so. Happy to connect with you.
Awesome. Thanks for dropping by, Carlos.
Those were some great insights from Carlos at Klaviyo. I hope you enjoyed my session, How to Forecast and Manage Sourced and Influenced Pipeline in Crossbeam. We covered the definition of pipeline mapping, how to get started with opportunity reports, examples of reports, how to build an opportunity report, and real-world examples from Carlos Barrero at Klaviyo. Thanks for joining me.